Any other wants to try?
Voice not clear.
Any other wants to try, like what is penetration testing? So
It is
basically
actually a similar, simulating the cyber attack against a system or network or web application to identify the vulnerabilities.
Sir, it is a type of attack to identify the vulnerabilities in the system by trying to exploit them.
okay. So basically, like penetration testing is a process to perform attack or like exploiting the vulnerability of any system or environment, but on an ethical way. Like here we have all the documentation and permissions, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me share my screen now, which is okay. Yeah, can you guys see my screen?
Sir,
Okay. So before going directly to penetration testing, let's see something about ethical hacking. Okay. So basically, we have two type of hacking system, like ethical hacking and unethical hacking. In ethical hacking, we like the process is same of ethical and unethical. But in ethical hacking, we have all the documentation and the permissions of the authority. Authority means like if there is an organization, so we are taking permission from that organization. So that is a ethical manner to perform attack. Now, why like okay, what is ethical hacking? Authorized penetration testing mainly. So because hacking it is a what gives for malicious actor, so we usually call this process as pen testing or penetration testing. The process is same, only the main difference is of word. Like we usually don't call it hacking. Instead of that, we call it penetration testing. Okay. So in penetration testing, we mainly find the vulnerability and try to exploit that vulnerability. Now, why this is important? Okay, so basically, the first thing it is like necessary to protect to protect the CIA tribe, which is the main pillar of cybersecurity. Also, okay, tell me one thing. What, according to you, like if you have to safeguard your home or your office, what will be the best practice for that? Like for securing your home, you can take the example of your home. If you want that my home will be very secure, no any thief can like come inside and steal anything. So what you will do for this?
lock.
Proper
Okay, first
security.
thing lock. No, no, actually on a very basic level, I am taking example of your home. अपने घर में नहीं ना साइबर सिक्योरिटी लगाएंगे, अपने घर को सिक्योर करने के लिए सबसे बेस्ट तरीका क्या है? So
Digital locker.
usually हमारे पास okay. So basically we create a checklist of sure points of entrance here. So So for safeguarding our home, we have one thing like lock. Then we have security guard system, CCTV installation. ये सब चीजें हम अपने घर में करते हैं. Like these things we are doing in our home. हम सीसीटीवी लगा सकते हैं, सिक्योरिटी गार्ड रख सकते हैं, सिक्योरिटी पर्पज से कुछ लोग पेट डॉग वगैरह रख लेते हैं. डिफरेंट डिफरेंट मेथड है. बट व्हाट इफ आई विल से कि एक कंपटीशन करवा दो पूरे शहर में कि हम अपने घर में एक चीज छुपा के रखते हैं, जो चोर इसको चोरी कर लेगा उसको हम इनाम देंगे. लाइक वी विल रिवॉर्ड दैट थिंग. अब इससे क्या होगा कि जो भी शहर के चोर होंगे, लाइक लाइक जो भी थ्रेट होंगे तुम्हारे लिए, ओके, so that threat will try to take to gain access of that property which is like connected with the reward. So they will find each and every possible way to reach that point. Okay, so this is this is penetration testing. Now, if you will find in a single competition, you find that, okay, I have 10 entrance points in my home and 5 are secure and 5 are unsecure. With that 5, people can get into my home. So what you are going to do, you are fixing the vulnerability or the security issue on that 5 bit, right? अभी इससे क्या हो रहा है, लाइक तुम्हारा पूरी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को सिक्योर करने का या दोबारा से स्कैन करने का कॉस्ट बच रहा है. और as a normal organization like ethical people, या फिर or you can say that as a company, it is near to impossible to think like a attacker. Okay, because all the developer, like in any organization, they are developer, designer, and some finance person, and they all are not able to think like a attacker or a hacker. So on that point, if any external or internal attacker will try to gain access, so he will share you the information of all the access point. So that is basically penetration testing. In penetration testing, we usually call the attackers or pen testers and ask them to perform VAPT, vulnerability assessment and penetration testing on the infrastructure or environment. Okay. With that, we get a report of all the vulnerability, and in next update, we are launching the patch or fixing the vulnerability. Got the idea about ethical hacking and penetration testing? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
So we have some methodology in ethical hacking. Like first thing is penetration testing, then vulnerability scanning and red teaming. Now, basically penetration testing I have explained. Okay, we can call inside or out, like external attacker to perform attack on our infrastructure. In vulnerability scanning, we are not exploiting any vulnerability. We are just finding this. Okay, so for penetration testing, we are using exploitation tools. But for vulnerability scanning, we are only using scanning tools. It may be either active scanning or passive scanning. Then we have something red teaming. Like in organization, two teams are there, red team and blue team. So there is scenario of defense system and attack system. Okay, so red teaming is something related to attack. I have already discussed about teaming, so it's not required. Then we have phase like recognition and information gathering. So first thing in penetration testing, what we are doing, we are first recognizing our target or gathering the information about our target. Okay, so for that we can use open source tools. ओसिंट फ्रेमवर्क के बारे में कभी आप लोग को प्रीवियस क्लास में बताया हूँ?
Okay, sir.
Actually, okay. Okay, ये OSINT framework है. This is OSINT framework. Do I ever explain about this framework in previous classes?
No, sir.
So let me explain.
No, sir.
Now, what is this? This is basically OSINT framework, a open source and tool to gathering the information, and this is in very structured way. Okay, so you can go through this website like osintframework.com. First, here we have some indications, like we have to. Let me explain like this. Okay, so here you find the indication of T. Okay, so what does T mean? Indicate a link to a tool that must be installed and run locally. Okay, and if there is a D, then Google Doc. Okay, Doc is basically a searching technique for more information. Okay, then R means requires registration, and M means indicate a URL that contains the search term, and the URL itself must be edited manually. Okay, so for example, you are focusing on a specific organization. So first thing you need to know about that organization, that is domain. So you can directly go to domain name. Then quiz record and subdomains discovery. So let's go to subdomain. Then we have different tools. On third level, we are seeing that tool. Okay. So let's see some of the tools. In this framework, there is a problem. Sometimes few websites may not work. So we have lot of options. So when you are performing the recognition or the information gathering, so don't think like, okay, this one is not like this one is not working, I think. So you can go to any other. Okay, so this need to be run local. We have GitHub repo of this. You can directly do git clone and run it in your Kali. So this is basically a framework. This provides the information about username, email address, domain name, IP, image, like lot of things are there. I'll request you like please explore these things. In last we have also some training. Okay, so for here we have some trainings and some games. Please go through this. Okay. So if you want to find the username only, so that you can find what's my name. Okay, I think this website. Category filter. So here you can see that we have website like what's my name web, and we have some filters. Okay. So put separate username on each line for multiple search at maximum just return username. So for example, I'm taking, okay, let's see what result we get. Now you can find that we have different card, and like here you will find some information about Vikram. So this is how you are gathering the information. Now sometime like when it is an organization, this is a simple example. So organization usually create a unique name. So with that name, the filter and the like finding the data is easy. So here we find that some website is there. So this is like OSINT work. Okay, so Also, when you are going to perform VAPT, so sometimes it is like black box VAPT. So you need to use these tools for gathering the information. Then we have network scanning and port scanning. Like in network scanning, we are finding the what the services and like what the servers are running, what is the network topology and network security. We are checking about these things. And in port scanning, we basically scan for open ports. Okay. So today I will also try to do some port scanning. Then we have vulnerability identification and analysis. In this, we are identifying the vulnerability by scanning and do the analysis part that what vulnerability can be exploited. Okay. And hence in like the penetration testing, you have limitations. It is not like you are free to do everything. So you are doing analysis that on which part we can perform. Then we have some exploitation techniques. Like we have three examples, but we have more than like more. It is not printed in three. Like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, buffer overflow. Apart from it, we have brute force techniques. Sometimes we are spoofing, sniffing. All these techniques are there. Okay, mitigation and recommendation. When we find that vulnerability, so the remediations are important. Basically, we are updating our infrastructure according to that. Okay, so this slide is very important. What is the mindset of what will be the mindset of an ethical hacker? The first thing, curiosity. As an hacker, always you need to find the answer of why. Because sometimes when technology are there, so we are just accepting the technologies. Okay. But as an ethical hacker, okay, you need to always you need always do a question that how and why these technologies are working. Because until unless you are not going to not going to understand the breakdowns of that technologies, like what is the key point in that technologies, how these things are work. So without that, you are not able to get into any technology. And creativity, because day by day, all the organizations are securing their infrastructure. Okay, so you need to be creative to find that vulnerability. Then responsibility. Also, when you are getting into ethical hacking, you always like it is very easy to gain some extra money with some malicious work. You always have some data which is not accessible by anyone, like confidential data, financial data. So you have to responsible. You have to work ethically. It is not like that for some personal profit we are doing unnecessary or unethical work. So these mindset must have with a ethical hack. And we have career path like penetration testing, security analysis, SOC, security researcher. Then in SOC we have different things. Okay. Now let's see the phase of penetration testing. So in penetration testing, we have different phases to gain access or to find the vulnerability. and we have to follow that because sometimes it is in industry norm. The first plan is planning and recognition. Okay, in this part we are defining scope. Now, what is scope, right? So, like when you are going for penetration testing, so we have scopes means how you are going to perform that. You need to maintain a document and submit it to authority. So that is the scope of penetration testing. That what services you are scanning for, what the services you are going to exploit, what is the time limit. Okay, at what level you are going to perform. So these all comes in like defining the scope. And one thing is very important, that in scope, like when you are going to define the scope, you are maintain you. It is not like that. If someone have told you, okay, you can do this thing. You need to maintain a proper documentation on this. Also, in cyber forensic, when you are working with government or any in any organization like investigation agency, then scope defining the scope is very important. Like what data you are going to do clone and what data you are going to do copy. What will be the hashing algorithm you are going to use? Okay. Can anyone say what is the difference between clone and copy? Hello? Hello? Guys, please respond.
Sir, we don't know, sir.
Okay. So actually these two terms look like similar, but there is a difference. When it comes to cyber forensic, suppose that there is a uh, crime site, okay, and you went as a forensic officer and you collected 10 devices from on that location. It may be systems, laptop, mobile, tablet, okay, anything. So as a forensic officer, sometimes the clone means exact same of copy. Hmm. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, clone means exactly the same copy. Means it can include everything and might exclude something. Okay. So in cloning, suppose that there is a device of 60, which have a storage of 64 GB. And when you are cloning that device, so it is not like you are cloning the device operating system, maybe Android. You are just copying the data. So in clone, suppose that you have a 500 GB hard disk. So you are so in clone part, now if you copy if you did clone that 64 GB in that 500 GB, so that 500 GB cannot be used for other purposes. Okay, so that is the cloning part. Now your that hard disk will work as that the device. We have different tools for simulation. So that is a cloning part. But in copy, you are doing containerization. In different container, you are copying the data. And for both cloning and copying the data, the hashing is very important. Okay, because there is a police manual. Suppose you have copied the data. So for maintaining the integrity, first thing what you are going to do, you are just creating a hash of all the data. Okay. So if anything will be deleted or added, so hash will be changed. And the time of seize when you are seizing that device. Okay. Because suppose you have taken 10 devices from the party. In court, party can say that, okay, my lord, like the person who have taken my device may change the any file folder or may add any new data. So that time the hashing is very important. On site, you are just creating the hash and giving a copy to that party, also giving a copy to the police department and keeping one copy with yourself. And when you are returning everything, so on that time also you are creating the hash. If there is any change in hash, so you will be questionable that how this change came. Okay. So in forensic, basically we are not manipulating any data. We are just doing our research on that. So that all comes in defining the scope. Then we have information gathering. In that we are doing network mapping, then DNS analysis, social engineering. Also we are using OSINT tools to gather the information. Then we have second phase scanning. In that scanning, we are doing port scanning, service scanning, and vulnerability assessment. Okay. I hope that all of you are aware what is port scanning, service scanning, and service identification. Also, apart from port scanning, sometimes we are scanning the servers, finding the operating system which are used in infrastructure. Okay. Then we have third point as gaining access. Now with that vulnerability, you are gaining the access. Gaining access means like you are just getting into the system, not exploiting anything. You are just identifying the open doors. Okay. Once you are into the environment, your work is to upgrade yourself. That is known as privileged acceleration. Suppose that you entered as a guest. Now you need to be a user, then you need to be a admin or group. So the hierarchy work like that. Your work is to go till the admin level or the control level. Okay. Then we have maintaining access because there are some security tools in every organization, so they may find you. So you need to maintain your access. Something like the best practice, what we are doing as a penetration tester. Once we are in a system, we are creating different path, and we are securing ourselves on different locations, so that if we might lose our access from one location, so we can get from okay. So for these things, we have some like good tools. First thing is rootkit. Rootkit is very dangerous because the log of rootkit is not visible on simple task manager or simple any dashboard. For root, if any rootkit is there in any system, so they have to go on process level to find the rootkits. They have to monitor the processes. It is not like with the log monitoring, you can find the rootkit. Then we have backdoors. As soon as we are getting into the system, we are creating new backdoors for us. Then persistent mechanism. Uh, we are keeping ourselves on different locations for this. Okay. Now, as phase 5, we are covering the tracks. Like whatever track we have used for gaining the access, we are deleting our own footprint. Okay. It, it will help us to be in that system. Also, it will save us from back tracing. So for this, we are doing log manipulation, then data hiding, and sometimes anonymization. Okay. Then after all this, we are doing reporting and documentation. That is very important. We need to create all the report, and we have to make sure that we are in our scope. We didn't cross the line, and maintaining the document and and hand over the document to the respective authority. What tools you are using? So Nmap Metasploit is very famous. Apart from it, we are using like Barsuit, Nikto, then network mappers. We have different tools. Sometimes for sometimes we are using some phishing tools also. So today we will also try to do the network scanning. Okay, we have the same thing tools. Oh, these all are the same thing. So all of you are active, like for practical session, because we have time and today I want to show some practicals.
Yes, sir.
So just give me some like 2 minutes. Let me log in with my colleague. All of you be online. Just it will take 2 minutes to get in from colleague. ओके अभी कितने आदमी को एक क्लियर आइडिया लग गया है कि वीएपीटी हम कैसे करते हैं? I think today you guys are very inactive. Okay, so can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Abhi, like what we are going to do, I'm in a local area network and I will find some, it's like I will try to find anything what may be available in my local area network. So first thing what we are going to do, we are using Wirestar. Now for what purpose we are going to use Wirestar? For IP gathering. Okay, because when we go to the nmap, so for nmap we need IP addresses. So as we can see that we have 3 different networks. Okay, so WLAN 0 and Bluetooth and NE. So basically these two are same and the Bluetooth is of my device. And we have different networks. We are going to W. As we can see that. Okay. So we have lot of packets here. As you can see that we have different IPs. One is 10.44. I think it is of myself. Okay. So some data is going on this IP 24.125.250.23243. Okay, and we have a huge data on this IP. So let's see where this IP goes. First thing we are going to use ping command. So for checking that this is working or not. Well, this is not required, but this is a best practice. Okay, so we have a good, like we have 0% data loss on this. So we are finding the root of this one. So I have used the command trace root for tracing the root. So I'm not going to perform anything on external. I want to be in my own network. So what we can find that the first hop where our data went is the gateway. That on 30 will not make you stop. So our gateway is, all of you can see, or
Yes, sir.
I hope that now it is visible. Okay. So as you can see that we have a default gateway 10.44.0.1. Okay. So then we have 1.1. Okay. So let's see what is the status of our default gateway. We can directly go on nmap from here. So a simple nmap command can be used 10.44.0.1. From a simple nmap command, we find that okay, we have two services are here which are running on this thing. Okay, our TCP 423, which is of TCP, which is open here, and the service which is running is Telnet, and the second thing that 80. We can use different attribute. Okay, for aggressive scanning, I am using -a. Let's see what the data we got here. So then HTTP site doesn't have any title. Okay. What from this data, what we can find that okay, there is no any website running. I think. Mm. Okay, so let's try to exploit this Telnet one. Okay. So we have so what we find here is the Telnet service is running for the switch and the command line interface is there and is asking for ID and password. I know this is done. Now, as an security personnel, can you say that this is a vulnerability or not? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's
That
vulnerability.
is it a one? How? Explain.
We are getting access to that.
No, actually, we have ID and password here. So how we are getting access?
So we can try brute force attack on them.
Brute force attack.
Yes, yes. So here we have a vulnerability that brute force may apply here. Okay. So that is a vulnerability, but like on organization level, you can think that I am connected with a that like ID and password with that network for total. So I have a for getting into the network, I need to do the login of from this page. Okay, this is the main page of my organization. So that is a vulnerability, but for preventing that, like the security personnel have already created a secure path that an unidentified user is not allowed to get connected with that with this network. Okay, so but when you are working in organization where anyone can join the network, okay, either with OTP and all. For example, you can take off Railwire. There you don't need to give any ID. It is just like you need to give OTP. Sometimes it is also not there. You directly can get connected with that system. So on that point, this is a vulnerability. Okay, but on this point, this is not a vulnerability. So this is how we are doing the scanning part. Okay. Also, let's try different nmap command. Oh, it's scanning. For this purpose, you can set up your own labs also. Okay. And on that lab, you can do the nmap scanning and everything. So I will simply try to put some random commands and check what the information we are getting. So if I just need to scan for ports, okay, so I can use the command of simple p. What was the IP? 10.14.0.1. So this is scanning will in this scanning we are only going for port scanning. is taking this much time. It will take half. So as you can see that a filtered scan is there only for ports. Okay, here you guys can see. All of you are able to see or not? Then we have some scanning types. Like if we want to like to a TCP SIM pack port scan, we want to send only SIM pack for any port. So we have a attribute like small s and capital S. How it is going to work? And map, then simple IP, and after that with hyphen small s capital S. Your request is can start required root protocol. Okay, so this is a command. This is basically for a aggressive scan on a specific port. I don't know when I have used it. This is also IP of closed network. So this is for a aggressive scan on a range of ports. Okay, so from 1 to 65535, this is the range of ports. Now what I'm going to do 10.44.0.1 and on this syntax. So we are getting the same information, but additionally we got the MAC address. Okay. Here you can see that we have the MAC address. And this is, I know this is a router. Also, if you want to TCP connect port scan, so on the same thing, you can just change with a hyphen S capital T. So not so 1900 close TCP port. Actually, it is closed for TCP. Host is up latency. Then we have something for UDP. For UDP, just type capital U. The same thing it will say because very few less. Okay, here we have something. Now what you can see that some UDP services are running like DSCP, okay, SNTP and route. Okay, so here you can find these points. So in simple scanning, we are not able to see all these. Why? Can anyone give the answer why we are not able to see that these services are also running? With the simple scanning, why this was not there? The answer is in your screen only. You just need to find it.
Specifically, you are mentioning UDP.
It is it's filtered.
Yeah, because it's filtered. It was open, but it was filtered. Filter means uh, these services are filtered in such a way that only a specific packets, that UDP packet it will receive. Now, as you know that DSCP use UDP, DHCP services use UDP protocol. So that's why these all are filtered. Now we have different open port. So in penetration testing, if we have network penetration parts, so we can exploit these. Okay. Then let's see some ORF filter. Okay, if you want to if you want to send a packet of TCP SYN. Okay, SYN is like finish when we are finishing the TCP connections. So for that, what command we are going to use? Nmap. Then here we have attribute like -S F. So -S, then F, then .44.0.1. Failed to resolve the code support IP source of F not to service. No. Okay.
Small is capital F.
Okay, yeah, they are capital not there. So let's see what the target specification can pass host and IP address. Okay, so their capital S is needed only because in small s it will. I think this service are not working on that well. Like the system is not which is not configured for TCP. Okay. Actually, I'm also very new to this infrastructure where I'm currently operating. Mm. So, and like for more understanding, we have this. Suppose you have stuck down any point because we have lot of things in Nmap. Okay, so you can use this command. Nmap-x. Now this will show you all the list of possible attributes. Okay, and with a category on. Suppose you need to go for target specification. So we have -IL like input file, input from list of host network. Then we have IR, like everything with their description. Okay, for host discovery list scan, then ping scan. We have different things. Okay, so currently I was using these techniques. So yes, so try to explore every possible attribute and their use case. Okay. Any doubt in Nmap?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is the very basic of Nmap. Nmap is like in simple, you can say that like on admin level also people are using Nmap only. Okay. The people who are working on admin level security, they are also using Nmap for their VAPT. So this is a very useful tool. Okay. In next session, I will try to explore other tools like Worksuite and some of brute force tools. Till now, you guys just do your practice on Nmap.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, actually, due to my academics, I have joined 10 minutes late this meeting. Can you mark my attendance?
Okay, so no issue. Don't worry
Okay, sir.
about that. But try to be on time.
Yes, sir. Next time I will be on time, sir.
Okay. So today I'll bind up the session here. Any doubts or any queries you can ask?
Sir, what is our next project, or we are continuing with the same one, sir?
Okay, so regarding the project in next session, I will explain. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, so just wait for. Yeah, today we have covered the animal. Okay, so I'm binding up the session now. You guys just continue your learning. So, any doubt you can ask. So, no doubt, I am binding up the session here.
Thank you, sir.